have such sights to show you.
You are all going to die tonight.
Good evening, my sweet tortured souls, and welcome to another horror-filled episode of Miss Violet's Underworld, deeper and darker. Joining me, as always, the mouth of the Southwest Derbyshire, the speaker himself, Mr. Jimmy Clifford. How are you doing today, my sweet tortured soul?
This week's been interesting. It definitely pushed the training wheels up in an angle for me.
Yes, you were. We saw your limits and we raised you.
Oh, yes. This week's going to be interesting, folks.
You thought you were ready for the big leagues with horror, and then
Oh, no. I'm still getting those training wheels sorted.
Yes, it's your first day in the major leagues here, honey.
Yep. But we're getting there.
Yes, we are. But as always, before we get into the meat of tonight's episode, we're going to listen to the screams of the damned from the comments section. We have two comments this week, both from the man, the myth, the beard, Agent JK47, the Ginger Ninja JK. In his first comment says, "What?" Question mark. Tony bigger and girthier than me? ... I hanged my head in shame, and now I must redeem myself.
And so he did.
And so he fucking well did with the next comment. So still JK here. The Thing, what a wild freaking ride. Both films merge into the other near seamlessly and are a hell of a lot of fun. Yes, that was one of the things we praised it for, was the fact that the end sort of credit hook in the 2011 film was literally the lead in to the next one. So when watching them back to back like we did, there is that almost seamless transition into it.
Which I suppose in a way is a spoiler for those that don't know Norwegian and are watching it in 2025. Just a little.
But
that is fine.
But you take it as one long continuous story.
Yeah.
But anyway, and let's be honest, the 1982 film is miles above the 2011 prequel in terms of cast, special effects, and just the overall feel and tone.
Yeah.
Very true. Very, very true.
Yeah.
Goes on to say, now don't get me wrong, 2011 is good. I love Mary Elizabeth Winstead. I adore the Norwegian crew. There's a lot of them. Yeah, there was a lot of, like I said, I didn't write the entire cast down because I looked at some of those names and I was like, I am not pronouncing them.
Yeah. No, and honestly, when I was watching the films, like I think I recognized pretty much every actor.
Oh, I've seen.
I had no idea they were Norwegian or Scandinavian or whatever. But
yeah, I've seen most of them pop up in at least one or two other places.
Yeah, and that was nice.
Yes, but anyway, yeah, there's a lot of them, and the detail put into recreating the sets and look. But in my humble opinion, it failed to capture the feel that was in the original, the isolation, the distance from any other living human being. There was an overall mood that dripped in paranoia. Yes, you did actually comment on that when we were watching it. It was like, this one's very...
Yeah. The 82 is it seems very isolating.
Yeah, it does put across...
Watching the first one, it's like they mention... I think it's, as you're watching, you kind of mention the Americans are nearby, and it's almost like an Easter egg idea that's nearby. But that kind of takes away from that. They're on their own.
I think the thing that adds to that as well, no pun intended there, we're saying the thing that adds to it.
Yeah, the thing that adds to
I think what for me is the defining, like, why one feels more claustrophobic and paranoia laced than the other one is in the 2011 one, there's quite a lot of people.
Yeah.
Compared to the original, where it's like, what, 6, 7 guys? Whereas in this, it's like a full team of Norwegian people, 2 helicopter pilots. You know, there's a lot of people in that space. So maybe that's what kind of tilts it.
It's almost like the other thing is like the helicopter pilots go away and then come back. It's almost like they've got that. There's reinforcements, so there's the cavalry that can call in.
And then there's the issue with the CGI.
Yes.
Here we go. This was our point of contention with it. It's not terrible. Potato on that one.
I will admit, I think
Wait. He does say, but not great either.
no.
He hit the nail on the head. The
Thank you.
shit and the CGI used in that, what the actual fuck? Well, WTF. Who the fuck decided that was the way to go? I believe whoever decided on that, there should be a pineapple in their future. Do you know what?
I'm sure there's one in the back closet somewhere.
You know what? Right, just for you, JK, I'm gonna go through the credits and see if I can find like the executive producers because it'd probably be the executive producers that decided on this one, right? And I'm just gonna mail a pineapple to all of them and just say, this is for what you did in 2011, and just leave it at that. Let them fucking ponder it. Let them see if they can fucking work that out.
Yeah. Because it's that 8-bit monstrosity.
And like we said, the original pictures for the what should have been
Yeah.
the pilot, that was impressive as hell. You know, that's the sort of thing that the audience would have seen and gone, "Oh wow!" But instead, what we got was the audience looking at the screen, going, "What the fuck?"
Well, yeah. Well, having this week, like I said, that 8-bit monstrosity, seriously. But I managed to track down a YouTube clip that shows you the puppet they originally had, and that looks. I'm like, why?
Again, because the studio executives said it looks too much like an 80s movie. People don't want to watch an 80s movie in 2011.
And here we are awaiting Stranger Things.
The thing that gets me about that, right, is look at the wave of 80s nostalgia that hit a few years after this film came out.
Yeah.
It started around 2016 and it's still kind of going now. Like you said, Stranger Things. We've had 5 years of Stranger Things. You know?
You say that, and here I am wearing the gig shirt I went to the other day, and they're an 80s band.
80s nostalgia is very, very big right now. So I think, like I said, if they re-release that film with the original effects in place, it'll probably do a lot better than it did on its initial.
Yeah.
But that's up to the fucking studio.
That's a by the by.
Anyway, JK goes on to say, now, The Thing, 1982. What a fucking movie. Yes. Seriously, one of the greatest films ever made. The tension and paranoia is palpable. Kurt Russell is at the top of his game as MacReady. Yes, I didn't say that to you.
Yeah, no, he is. I've not watched
his prime. This was him at the absolute peak of his acting level.
Yeah, I'd not watched many Kurt Russell films, so getting this one out of the way was a real joy and a bonus.
I will have to introduce you to Escape from New York.
Yes. Or remind I think we've discussed that off camera. Tangent. I've watched LA or I've watched New York. I can't remember which.
I think we determined it was the LA one you watched.
Yeah.
It's one where he drives around with Steve Buscemi.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the sequel, Escape from LA. It's not a scratch on the original. I will get you.
We'll get
from horror for a week for that one, I think.
We might do that.
Anyway.
Entire
cast is damn near perfect. The music absolutely sets the tone in that opening scene with the dog running across the frozen tundra. It does that. Dum, dum.
Believe it or not, and minor tangent again. I'm sorry, I had trivia for that. That's the same guy who did The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yes, it is. Anyway,
moving forward.
The direction, John Carpenter just knows how to keep you enthralled and guessing at who may be a thing and who may not be. The effects, say no more, absolute gold. The movie is damn near perfect in every way.
Yeah.
I can fully agree with that statement there, JK. For me, when you talk about quintessential horror masterpieces, for me it goes, there's a few films from the Universal Monsters, there's films from the Hammer Horror House. For me, when it comes to 80s horror, this is always within my top 5. Always within my top 5. That's how much I love this movie. I started watching this film probably younger than I should have been allowed to be watching this film. But that's neither here nor there. I love this film from a very, very young age. So
I'd heard about this film from a very young age, and I'm glad I've
never
got it
was
off
allowed
my
to watch
list.
it.
Yeah, I'm glad. No, I'm glad I've got it off the list now. Because honestly, this is going to be another, and it's in the back there, still in the back there.
Yes, Tony.
This is going to be another one of these.
Shout out to
I'm going to
Tony
have
from
the
the
thing on collection because
shout out to Tony from the Retro Movie Zone. Nightbreed is still in the background of Mr. Clifford's display until you announced that you've watched it.
I told you it would happen.
Anyway,
Anyway, moving forward.
JK finishes off by saying, "Now the game. I did play, but I can't remember a thing about it. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
I have heard the updated game is quite good. Yeah, from Night Dive Studios did a remastered version of it a while ago. I think it was about 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on that. I usually am wrong with dates.
I think I saw an advert for it, but I can't remember
Yeah,
because I'm not gaming anymore.
basically, it is just they've tweaked the graphics, they've tweaked the controls, but the gameplay is still as it was when it first came out. And I kind of want to pick it up again just to give it another run through because next to Resident Evil, this was one of my favorite horror games to go to back in the day. Like, if I wanted to play a good scary game, it was Resident Evil, Silent Hill, and this game, the Thing game. Anyway, great vid. Love the discussion about these films. Can't wait for the next one. Dawn of the Dead, maybe. Guess we'll see next week. Well, previously on Miss Underworld, did discuss briefly the Dawn of the Dead remake on our George Romero Dead franchise overview. We may have to take a look at George Romero remakes more specifically later maybe in the season. But there's
maybe rewatch for me because I wouldn't mind rewatching. I've literally got a patch. If it's not already on a coat here, I've got the Night of the Living Dead patch now because I freaking love that film.
But that is it for the comment section. So let me just get that down.
We are sadly lacking a Tony.
Yes, no Tony this week. It's a shame. You watch, he'll comment in like 5 minutes' time. You watch.
Yeah. Actually, he's saying he's watched the NightBreed.
I've watched NightBreed at last. But anyway,
moving
on with tonight's episode. Last week we promised you some horror remakes, and I think we made a pretty good choice this week, didn't we?
Yeah, you definitely upped the ante and pulled them through, didn't you?
Up first, we're going to go with kind of in a reverse order of years, starting with the most recent and working backwards. So up first from 2013, directed by Fede Alvarez, with the executive production of Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell, and Rob Tappert. So the original guys were there to help along the way. We are, of course, talking the Evil Dead remake, 2013. Release date, April 15th, 2013, obviously. Budget, 17 million. Box office, 97.5 million.
They did it again, folks.
Yes. Starring Jane Levy and Shiloh Fernandez. Sorry, my handwriting is terrible. I only jotted the first couple down, but Jane Levy plays Mia, a recovering addict who goes out to a cabin in the woods, there's that cliche again, to try and get clean. Her friends discover a book in the basement, Notre de Monteau, and stupidly, like they always do in these films, at least one dickhead has to read it out aloud. And then all hell breaks loose. The sky rains blood. There's nail guns and bread knives and chainsaws.
We'll get to that.
Oh my.
We'll get to that.
Yes. But this film, for me, I was very apprehensive. I was one of those ones who said, no, please, if you're going to remake anything, never remake remake Dawn of the Dead. Not Dawn of the Dead. We were talking about it a minute ago. Anyway, Evil Dead. Evil Dead. When I was one of those people when it was first announced, I was like, please don't remake Evil Dead. The original is perfect as it is. Boy, was I wrong. Because when I watched this for the first time, I watched it for the first time when it first came out. Like I picked up a year after it came out. It was on Blu-ray. I got it cheap. I kind of fell in love with it because it did what I want a remake to do. It took the same basic premise and it did a Spinal Tap. It turned it up to 11 and then went, fuck it, let's go to 21.
Yes.
So, you know,
11 on Spinal Tap this week.
This really did ramp up. And again, it's kind of changed my opinion on remakes. Watching it again back then and watching it again literally today for this episode, it definitely made me go, you know what? If more remakes are going to be like this, where it's different enough to stand upon its own, but it's got enough of those themes and elements and that feeling of the original, I'm going to give remakes a bit more of a chance. But before we discuss the plot, let's jump over to Mr. Jimmy Clifford and let's hear your thoughts on a first viewing in 2025.
Well,
I know you've got a lot to say about this.
Let's put it this way. I'll go to one of the notes further down here. Tolerance went up, but definitely freaking shaken. Because gone is the humor. Gone is the comedy element. This is a straight up freaking hot.
Oh yes, from the very opening.
Once things go downhill,
they get out
a straight up horror. This.
Yes.
And again, like you with the numbers, tiny budget, massive profit. This is how you do it.
This is how you do it. Yeah.
This is definitely how you do it. Honestly, I'm still processing some of it, to be honest, trying to remember.
That scene, you're processing that scene still.
No, this one didn't just have one for me. This had two. Because off camera, a little bit of a peek behind my personal life. There was a bit of a mental health crisis not too long ago. And where I work, I have access to a number of tools.
Including nail guns.
So that particular scene, yeah, I'm not thinking about doing anything dangerous with one of those.
No.
No.
Change the perspective, just a pinch.
Yeah, that was a bit. Yeah, no, that was a bit too. I will say for the sensors and the folks at home, you can't use a nail gun as it's used in here, unless you do a couple of bypass things for a safety device. But the general principle after that.
Suspension of disbelief is kind of a given in horror movies.
Yeah, if you can get past the disbelief and understand that you have to bypass certain things about a nail. Anyway, there's the minor tangent there. This one, yeah, like I say, it went and spinal tapped it if the spinal tap amps are on 15. Yes. So the acting was great. It's a straight up horror.
The
effects are on point.
I will say everyone who acted in this film
on point
sold the
part they're in. Sold the concept. The use of practical effects, and this is how you do it. This is how, going back to a shameless plug, go and see our comment earlier in this episode and go back to last week's episode with
go watch our comments about The Thing 2011.
The Thing 2011. If you're going to go with practical effects and then add the CG, this is how you do that.
Yes, the two were very, very seamlessly done.
Yeah, it was seamless. I I could pick up where a practical effect was used, but the thing was enhanced that well,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was. You could tell. I would recommend this film. However, if you like me and still dipping your toe in, watch it with company. Right. The other thing is,
There's dipping your toe in, Mr. Clifford, and then there's in it up to your knees.
yeah. I got in the shallow end of the pool here.
Well, you
Up
thought
to
it
the
was the
knees.
shallow end. You thought it was the shallow end. You took
I
a
thought
step.
it was a shallow end. It was maybe a bit deeper. But the other thing about this film, because we did the thing, but a shameless plug again. 2 weeks ago, we covered The Evil Dead.
We did. We talked the original trilogy, and we mentioned this one. And I thought it was just a perfect opportunity if we're going to talk horror remakes.
Why not do this?
Kind of a best place to start because this for me is like you just said yourself. This is a perfect example of how you do
A
a
remake.
remake to a film like The Evil Dead. You just take that core essence of it, you update it slightly, you give it better effects,
Yeah.
and then boom, let
Boom.
it
You
cook.
got it. Yeah.
Let it cook.
And this works for that perfectly.
It does.
And honestly, I am now an Evil Dead fan.
Good.
I am a fan of The Evil Dead now. And yeah, that's another one I probably will end up with them on DVD or Blu-ray.
Oh, I really, really would. And slight suggestion, I was watching my Blu-ray copy on my PlayStation with my fancy headset on. There were audio cues that I missed the first couple of times I watched this one. As in the bit when they find the book, as it zooms in on the book, you can hear it audibly in the background go, Nocturum de Monto.
Yeah.
And as they're pulling into outside the cabin, you hear that familiar join us. But it's
Yeah,
really
no, I
quiet in
heard.
the
Yeah,
background. And it's like,
I. Ooh,
okay, okay. And
yeah.
it's
The visual
lovely.
as well.
Oh, the
The
visual.
visual homages, I love the fact that they do the thing through the forest.
Yeah,
That's one. But the other one, where they are sat on what is effectively a derelict, but basically almost burned out the car that
from
they
the
originally
original.
turned up
Yes.
in.
That's a wink, wink.
Things like that that are in the background. And the twice I was like, why haven't you picked it up? And then she picks it up. The chainsaw. You know,
Do you know
I
what? I
did
love the
like
fake
that.
out. I love the fake out they did when the brother character
Yeah.
goes
I was
running
like,
into
why
the
haven't you
bunker.
picked that up?
He pulls the thing back and the camera zooms in on the chainsaw, but then flicks up. I was like, I love that little fake out where you think he's going to go for the chainsaw, then it flicks up to the car battery because he's done
Yeah,
manipulate. I was like,
yeah, they
I like
fake it.
that.
They
I like that
literally
fake.
fake that out, and he goes for the other object.
Yeah, I
Then
like
later
that
it
fake
comes
out.
back to it.
That was cleverly done because it was like
Yeah,
chainsaw. No, wait, I need a battery. Like I love that little.
yeah. I love the way that later on she's panicking because she's trying it and she can't get it, and then she realizes fuel, the
Yes,
low on fuel.
yes.
I love that.
It
So
was.
yeah, you can already tell
Yeah.
this. I like this film, but it pushed my tolerance.
Oh
This
yeah.
was the first one of the week as well.
I will say the gore that is on display in this is some of the most violent.
I don't normally
In
like this
a
type of
long
stuff.
time.
I was this was a proper horror film. I was
I'm a gore hound. I am a gore
yeah.
hound. I
No,
love
you
this
pushed
kind
me
of
for
stuff.
that.
I love this kind of stuff. And for me, the whole arm getting possessed and the electric bread knife.
Yeah.
The minute it hit her skin, and then I was like,
Yeah.
I can't look away.
Yeah. It's like I was there was a number of scenes like that. I want to look away, but I was like, no. I'll try and I'm going to try and tolerance this.
Hold back the vomit. Hold
Yeah,
back the
hold it. I'd eaten as well.
vomit. Oh no, no. When you're new to horror, I can do this, right? I had tangent here, people. Many years ago, I was sat watching the remake of Dawn of the Dead with my sister while tucking into a nice big bowl of pasta bake, just proper shoveling it in. And
Yeah.
it's the ending scene, the end of it, where they're using the chainsaw and everything. There's
Yeah.
gore going everywhere. And my sister's like, how can you eat while watching this? And I was like, because I know it's special effects, I know it's not real. But this film got my needle up to that point where I was like, it's
Yeah.
almost too real.
Yeah.
I know it's fake because it's a film,
Yeah.
but there's that little part of my brain that believes it just for a second. I'm like,
Yeah.
ugh.
I think, to be honest, introducing me to this one was a good one to push that because, like I said, I'd eaten and I was using that. It's a film. It's a film. It's a film.
No, it's only a film.
Remember, it's part of a film franchise, and you've watched the first three now.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, right, if you can make it through the first one specifically,
Yeah.
this one probably won't shock you as much.
Yeah.
Just you need to have quite a high tolerance for gore in films because, like I said,
Yeah.
although it's not, I feel like this film isn't excessive compared to the original.
Yeah.
It's just because it's so much better done. There's more of a budget
Yeah.
behind it. It looks more believable.
Yeah.
That's what tips it over for
Yeah.
me.
That is literally it with this film. I mean, there is one detracting point, but we'll get to that at the scores.
Right. Speaking of which, let's get to the scores. Go on then, Jimmy. For you, Evil Dead 2013. What's your score out of
Right. The score and the reason. 4.5 sinks to the face. Yeah, I thought that might give you a tickle. The reason being, as much of a homage and as many of the Easter eggs, it does have that unfulfilled promise that is at the end with the legendary Bruce Campbell doing his
Yeah,
Ash.
there's a
That's
little
the only thing that from this film that detracts ever so slightly. There's no Ash. But other than that, brilliant film.
right. Okay. Well, just to tangent on that, Bruce Campbell did actually say in interviews that although he did want to appear to sort of connect it to the rest of the franchise, he also wanted to let the film stand on its own. And he
Yeah,
felt that if he did appear in the film, it
yeah.
would detract from it because that would become the thing that fans remembered it for. And he didn't want that to happen.
And
He would
on that, I've
score.
got to give him props for that. It's a sound decision. I like it. It's just that one little thing that's connecting that's going to be unfulfilled, as we previously discussed off camera.
Yes. Anyway,
But
so your score then
was 4.5. Your score there. 4.5 sinks to the face.
sinks to the face. That was it, right? Okay, for me, because this is how you do a remake. I've said it about the remake of Night of the Living Dead. This is just how you do a remake. It's how you take these older, low budgety films and you
Yeah,
give them a fresh lick of paint. You give
yeah,
them bigger, better effect. Well, I say better. You give them bigger, more budgeted effects. You know, put more money into it,
yeah.
and it just elevates everything. So for me, this is going to be four, yeah, four tongues down a Stanley knife blade out of
Yeah.
that scene. I love that scene.
Oh,
So creepy.
no, honestly, yeah, no, I agree. That scene is excellently done, gory as hell, and so freaking, it's so well done, that
Oh,
scene.
fuck yes. Oh, definitely yes. But right, rolling on to our
Rolling on.
next film, we're going to the year 2010, and we are talking my kind of film because I love both versions of this film. They're on par with each other for me. We are talking George A. Romero remake here. The Crazies from 2010 was released on February 26, 2010. Had a budget of 20 million, box office 54.8 million. So it doubled its budget. It didn't do too bad. Doubled its budget and then a little bit extra on top.
Yeah.
Starring Timothy Oliphant, Rhonda Mitchell, Joe Anderson, and Danielle Panabaker. This film here, I have the lenticular cover where it's all shiny and funky and cool.
Oh, nice and shiny.
This again is how you do a remake.
Yeah, no, again, the remake week, this is another one how you do a remake. And
Right. The premise
I've got to
of this
watch the original.
film is it focuses on the sheriff, Timothy Oliphant's character. Can't remember his name off the top of my head. But he is the sheriff of a town called Ogden Marsh. One day, the town drunk wanders onto a baseball field with a loaded gun and he has to put him down.
That's putting it politely. It sounds
Yeah.
like a pet. It's a nice feathered pet there.
Yes, he just, he had to do what he had to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, but after that, more and more of the townsfolk seem to be acting a little bit crazy, shall we say?
Oh,
A little bit. And it turns out that a military plane carrying an experimental virus had crashed into the local water supply. And now, literally, the entire town is going crazy because this virus, later explained in the film, was designed to destabilize a population by driving them insane.
which works perfectly.
Yes, and after 3 days, it kills you. And the rest of the film is a fight for survival as quite literally the world goes mad.
Yeah.
I mean, it says it right on the front of the box here. Insanity is infectious. And yes. So, Jimmy, we're going to throw it over to you first. Your thoughts on The Crazies 2010.
So, Confessions with Jimmy.
Another
A
one
rare
that pushed
appearance.
you. Another one that pushed you.
This one pushed me. This is the second film this week you've picked that this one pushed me. We'll get into the reasons. The other confession, this is 2010 release. And at some point between, well, now and then, I was either around a party or whatever. And this was on in the background. I didn't legitimately watch it. It was one of them drunken nights. I watched part of it. We got to a particular scene and I went, nope. And I did not get through the rest of the film.
But you made it through this time.
Oh, second viewing, it was a hard watch, but I got there. It was a bit of a hard watch, but I got there. And not for the gore. That's the thing with this particular film. It weren't for, this one plays into psychological and it plays into the gore value. And it does so brilliantly. They looked at it 50-50 on the idea and the execution was perfect.
Yes, this is
You know.
again, like I said, this for me is just another example of this is how you do a remake. You take this general premise and you just
like I say, the other part of my confession, I haven't watched the original, but now I would be interested in watching the original.
The original is very, very good. It's not George Romero's greatest movie, but like I said, it's on par with this one. It's sort of the same story, but from a slightly different point of view. I won't spoil it I won't spoil it for you or for anyone who might not have seen it. But
it's from another perspective.
Yeah, it's just a change of perspective slightly. But this film for me is just classic at this point. It's 15 years old. I'm hoping they do like a 20th anniversary for it in 2030.
Come out as a double box set with
with the original. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But for me, I just said that's how you do a remake. The effects in it, the gore level, the tension, the emotional side of it sometimes.
They nailed the psychological side.
Oh, they really, really did. I mean, the downfall of the town and everything. And the way it does the flashback, it opens with the town burning. Yeah. And then it's like 48 hours earlier. And then that's where the story leads into the film. Yeah. And it's like, from the start, you are just constantly like, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck.
The other thing about this film,
the combine harvester.
Oh yeah, no, honestly, I thought something was going to crack off with that bugger.
Yeah,
I thought something was going to, and then it goes hard right into. No, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, it plays with your expectations.
It played with the expectation that you know of horror films.
Exactly, and that's why I love this film. It's not afraid to go, oh, wait, this is happening now.
Yeah,
Quick,
no,
take a
we'll do
sharp
that.
left
But
turn and just surprise
the
you.
other thing about this film, and the thing I enjoyed about this film,
Yeah.
is simply it's a straight up survival horror. Its
Yeah.
plot
Yeah.
is dead easy to follow. You could pick it up, or you could pick this thing up.
They're trying to get out of the town. That is
Yeah,
simple.
yeah, you can
That
pick
is
this
their
up.
only
Like, as long
objective.
as you've gotten not too far into the film, you can pick up exactly what probably happened and pick up the idea. It's
You
a
know what? I
easy
think
pickup.
I think it'd make a great video game.
Yeah, no. That actually, that's a really good idea. I mean, you could set somebody into, and you could just play one of the other characters and have
It,
cameos from the major cast,
yeah,
and that as a video game would work for this. It is a very,
yeah.
I think it's a very underrated film as well because it's only
It's not. It was one of those films that I knew it was coming because George
yeah,
Romero. Right, I heard, oh, there's a remake of The Crazies.
yeah, yeah.
Ah, okay. Let's see how that pans out. And I got this was a gift off of my
Mm,
partner many years ago, and they were like, I know you like this kind of film, and
look at this.
I saw it was a remake of George Romero's, so here you
Yeah,
go. And I was like, oh, cool. Never seen it. Let's give it a watch. And I fell in love with it from the first time I watched it. The acting in it, like all parts,
yeah.
is absolutely phenomenal.
Like I say, the
The people
psychological
who are
side of this.
infected, the actors playing them, my God, are they believable?
Yeah, no, they're very
Yeah,
believable in
yeah.
the parts that they're doing. And it's also an interesting take because I feel it's got the inspiration a little bit with the way the virus affects these guys. It's a little bit inspirational from obviously the original, but somewhat from the 28 days later sort
A
of
little
stuff.
bit, a little bit. The one thing that I did think was
But
very,
this is a bit different.
yeah, because it doesn't affect everyone the same way.
Yeah,
It literally drives people mad. So it's based on
time and progression.
their own psyche, you know?
Yeah.
Like the scene you talked about, the guy with the fire in the house.
Yeah, no,
Like
and that
not
still
everyone was
gets
doing
me.
that. The teacher who went around with the pitchfork, you know, it affects people differently. And I love that aspect of it about it because each time you encounter someone, it's not like a zombie movie where it's like, oh, shoot them in the head, boom. This
Boom,
one's
and the
like
boom.
some of them are crazy and violent, some of them are just crazy mumbling to themselves.
Yeah,
Not every
the
encounter with someone's
the
gonna.
one guy in I mean, there is the one, not to spoil, there is that one particular core guy in the core group that you are following, and
Yeah,
it's affecting him just ever so slightly different. Again,
slowly, yes,
it's
yeah.
for him, it's much more slow progression.
Oh fuck yeah. But that makes it more heartbreaking because of how
Yeah,
that character leaves the film.
yeah, because it's like he knows he's ill and he knows his fate, but at the same time, he's
There is
like
that moment. There is that
trying to
moment.
he's trying to keep.
That moment where him and another character fight, and he says, "I don't think I'm too well, boss."
Yeah, like the almost realization, like
Like, oh shit,
I
yeah.
am
Like
infected.
it's that slight moment of clarity through the virus. It's like, yes, I am infected, and I know what's going to happen. Oh dear. Like,
Yeah, and now I've got to try and keep in control of myself long enough.
yeah, yeah. Before he goes, completely cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah,
So, but this film, I highly recommend it. If you've never seen it, if you've only seen the original and never seen this one, give it a watch. It
yeah,
is worth it. Perfect example of a remake. And like I said, because of this and the Evil Dead remake, I am now giving remakes a bit more of a chance.
yeah.
Although I will say, not every reboot is like these. Nine
No,
times out of 10, a reboot just does not hit the same highs as the original. It's nowhere near as good. But in these cases, these two specifically,
definitely these two.
chef
Like I say,
double kiss.
yeah.
So anyway, Jimmy, let's go to the scores for the crazy.
Yours, doors. Four final flashes.
Oh yes, yes. I'm going to go with 4.5 handful of empty shell casings at a petrol station.
Yeah, Yeah,
That
no,
scene,
that's a good. That's another
that
good.
scene, because it doesn't show you, your brain puts it together, and it's one of those. Wait a minute. Oh, wait.
The psychological,
Wait. No. Oh,
and then it shows you.
it's that. So that's
Yeah,
like
no, that's
four,
a good
four,
scene. That one.
four and a half empty, handful of empty shell casings out of 5. And that brings us on to our final film of the night. We are talking from 2009, jumping back only a year. Friday the 13th, the remake, the extended cut. Now, released February 13th, 2009. Budget 19 million. Box office 92.7 million. Starring, I have to turn the page for this one. Jared Padalecki, Danielle Panabaker making a second appearance on tonight's show. Derek Mears, and I had to write this one down just because of the name. Travis Van Winkle. Just that name alone, I was like, I have to mention that.
Yeah, Travis Van Winkle.
Right. The premise for this one, if you've seen any of the original Friday the 13th films, this version, although it is by Platinum Dunes and Michael Bay is an executive producer, he did not have any interference. A lot of people a lot of people who hate this film go, oh, it's because he was involved. He was an executive producer. All he did was pay for it. He was never once on set or anything. He did no rewrites, nothing. So, anyway.
Did not have his hands in this.
No. Michael Bay did not have his dick prints all over this film. But
unlike other films.
The general premise of this film is it takes plot elements and story ideas from the first 4 Friday the 13th movies and puts them all together to make one narrative. It starts with Jason as a young boy witnessing his mother being beheaded because she thought he died, but he hadn't. Or maybe he had and he came back. That's never fully explained. That's the only part that's kept vague, whether or not he died and came back, or she thought he died, which is why she went on a killing rampage, but then it turns out he didn't die. So that's left vague. But, and a little bit of trivia for you here, Jimmy. Do you know who played Pamela Voorhees in that scene where she got her head chopped off?
No.
You're going to kick yourself with being such a DS.
I'll be honest, I recognized her, but I did not put the pieces.
Well, like I just said, you're going to kick yourself because you're such a big DS9 fan. Pamela Voorhees in this movie was played by Nana Visitor.
Yeah, thank you. It's the wrinkles in the nose. I did not notice because of the wrinkles and the longer hair. It's Major Kira.
Oh, there's a fly buzzing around, sorry.
Yeah.
But yes, then it jumps forward. That was in 1980. It starts in 1980. Yeah. Then it jumps forward to present day, as in 2009.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of campers looking for a crop of the Mary Jane. They find it, but Jason finds them first. Yeah. And he kills what you think all of them to a degree. Then it jumps forward another 6 weeks. So it's then technically set in the future. If it's 6 weeks after being set in the present day, then technically it's 6 weeks in the future.
Then there comes a narrative that could be interestingly explored.
Yes. But anyway, it jumps forward to Clay, played by Jared Padalecki, looking for his missing sister Whitney, who was one of the girls from the campers at the beginning. Yeah. And what goes down is pretty much a by-the-numbers film for the Friday the 13th franchise. You get a bunch of people who are going up to a house that's on Crystal Lake. They're going to be staying there for the weekend. It's a drunken, debauchery-filled weekend of sex, drugs, and sausage rolls. Yeah. And all that kind of thing. But Jason has to crash the party. Now,
typical cliche.
Yeah, this film for me, it's not a shit remake, nor is it a great remake. For me, it's very middle of the road. Being a fan of the other films in the franchise, the first 10 films
Yeah.
and Freddy versus Jason, I like some of the ideas it puts forth, but I think the fact that they decided to rehash story elements from those first four films, for me, having seen it done before and as a longer storyline, it fell a little short for me. But passing it over to you, because this was the first time viewing for you in 2025, what were your thoughts, Jimmy? Because you've never seen any of the.
Yeah, Confessions with Jimmy. I've never seen any of the Friday the 13th
Sorry, my alarm's going off.
films. Oh, we've got a random exit. That put me off. Give me a moment. Let me get my brain in. No, this film, like I say, Confessions, I've never watched any of
Friday the 13th films.
the Friday the 13th films. There are others I could mention from the 80s I haven't watched, but we'll get to that later down the line.
Continue.
Yeah. It's an okay starting point for somebody if they've never watched, if they're in my position and you've got a younger audience. It's an okay starting point if you're going to go and rewatch a legendary, the Jason from the 80s. It's okay. You get the general idea what Jason's about. You get that kind of thing. This film, out of the three this week,
Was the taste.
it does not have that je ne sais quoi of the. I don't know what it is that it's missing.
Yeah, it doesn't hit quite right, does it?
It doesn't quite right. It was after watching The Evil Dead. Maybe I've done this in the wrong sequence. After watching The Evil Dead and the Crazies remake, watching this remake was a little underwhelming.
Yeah,
Especially with the name Jason tied to it.
yeah. I mean, like I've said before about this film, it's not great, but it's not shit either.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. It wasn't a shit film. It was enjoyable to watch.
For a horror film, it does what it needs to do as a horror film, and it does it well. But it does feel very much to me like the directors and the writers and everything with this were very much going, it's Jason, so we need the hockey mask, we need the machete, we need this. It was like they were going through a checklist.
Yeah, no, and
sure they had all the elements.
And it's like they did that right. That's the other thing. I can't knock them for that because they did that right. Like you've mentioned, if you've had a fan around you that's explained a little bit, you understand. Jason did not start with the hockey mask. He started with a bag.
Yes.
And this film shows that. And then it moves to the hockey mask.
Well, that's what I mean. It has story elements from the first four.
And like you say, it literally ties these elements together.
Yeah.
And it does it well. I just don't know what this film's missing.
That's what I'm saying. I think because from my perspective, having seen the four films that this is taking elements from, because I've seen those and it's like, no, for me personally, it's more iconic for Jason to see this progression to the end of number 4.
Yeah.
This film kind of it's like watching a highlight reel.
Yeah.
They took the best parts of the first 4 films and gone, that's Jason in a nutshell. Which
you having watched them, I understand that viewpoint. Me, it's a good start point.
Yeah, for a newcomer into the franchise, I think it is a good starting point, but you will definitely find out when we do review the originals, because we are planning on it. It's just
it's
a big one
at some point.
It's a big one to tackle. Yeah. That's the biggest franchise we've tackled up to this point because there's 12 films.
Yeah. That's a big week for me, folks.
Well, I think
potentially yes.
I think for a newcomer, it is a good start point. It gives you the rough outline of what the franchise is about.
The other thing that detracted for me, and it's simply by reputation alone, having Jared Padalecki, great casting. Honestly, great casting choice. Yeah. Fantastic. The character he plays, perfect for it. Does it well. It's just because of the name and potentially another series. And if you are watching this, why are you watching us and not knowing this name?
Yeah.
It's sort of almost like I didn't feel any danger at all for him in the entirety of it. Like I knew, it's almost like I knew this guy's gonna make it.
Oh, yeah, I get that. I get that. But yeah,
You
overall,
know,
like I said,
it detracted a little bit because it's like he's never ever really in any major danger because of the
well, I
money.
mean, the way Jason runs around and everything, I think
Oh yeah, no, the guy,
danger's there. The danger's there. I
the
will
danger's
say,
there.
the one thing I will say about this, because we just mentioned Jason. I will say Derek Mears playing Jason in this one for me, I think was a good casting choice because he was meant to be a very different kind of Jason before what fans have been used to is a either a Jason that does run occasionally, but not much, but he's more brute strength, tower house, kick your ass kind.
Yeah,
Whereas in this, he's shown to be quite agile, even given his
yeah.
size. Like the climbing up
Despite
through
his, yeah, no, and that was something we discussed when watching the film.
the one
This
arm swing down
Jason,
from the roof, the one arm swing down he did from the roof. I'm like, he's agile.
yeah, no, and that's the thing about this. I like that it starts in the past, works its way up to the present,
Yeah,
and then you can put the pieces together as to why this guy is this way. He is a Jason who has lived 30 plus years
out in
on
the
his own, supplying his own food as a hunter-gatherer.
yeah.
You need strength, brutality, agility, and intelligence to do that. And he shows all of those
Oh
qualities.
yeah, this is a very different type of Jason, but for me, that's actually one of the film's positives.
Yeah.
Because
No, he's a this Jason is a dangerous fucking Jason to be dealing with.
the original films, after the sixth film, that was where we got the slow, methodical Jason that
Yeah.
would stalk you slowly, but get you eventually. And
Yeah.
that kind of Kane Hodder playing him number 7, 8, 9, and 10 did a fantastic job as Jason. For me, is my ideal Jason, and I would have loved to have seen him come back for this one.
Yeah.
But I think Derek Mears did a fantastic job because he was doing a very different Jason. And I think it worked. For what the film was setting up is that, like you said, he's a hunter. He's survived on his own out in the woods for 30 years. He's got to be at least on a different level mentally compared to the
Yeah.
rest of us.
He's had no, well, he quite clearly, this Jason's had no one to talk to, no one to interact with, so very socially isolated.
Yeah.
But he can survive and he knows how to lay traps, he
Oh,
knows patience, and he knows exactly when to put brutality and strength into it. He's
oh,
got all the skills you require
yeah.
for what he's doing. So he is a very believable, you know,
Right, let's move on to scores out of 5
cause.
for this one. We'll go with you first. What is your score out of 5 for Friday the 13th remake?
As I said, this one underwhelmed me a little bit. So it's 3 wood chippers.
300 to the back of the head.
Yeah, 3 wood chippers.
Oh. I'm gonna go with one of my more favorite brutal bits in the film.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with 3.5 bear traps to the leg out of 5.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, wait, no.
Ooh.
3.5 head stabs in the water.
Yeah, no, that was a good scene. That one.
Because you know what I'm talking about, the
Boing. Got it in one.
what was it too?
How was it too? Well, in your case, 3.5.
Yeah, well, right. Anyway, that is our scores for the horror remake of Friday the 13th. There we go then. That's it all done for another night of shenanigans. Don't know where that came from. I do apologize.
It's all right, tangent alert. It's fine.
So,
I'm a little hyper today.
the speaker, Mr. Clifford, would you like to tell the wonderful audience what's coming up next week?
Well,
Would you like me to tell them?
Well, we've got
Up next week, we have
3 films at least.
Jimmy's choices. Jimmy chose the next 3 films we're going to watch. So, catch you next episode, guys, to find out what those films are. But as always, time to say goodnight, Jimmy.
Night, Jim.
I have been Miss Violet Impulse. And remember, my sweet touched souls, if you can't be good, be twisted. Don't get mad, baby. Get sadistic. Mwah. Love ya. See you on the next one.